What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here on Water Ice Radio. It is the Lauren Reed Live Show, and we are back, everybody.
Yeah.
A little summer break.
Yeah.
Slightly.
We've been working.
It really wasn't a break. I've been working.
Yeah. We've been out here.
Jay is here.
What's
the whole
up?
Water Ice family is here.
How we doing?
Jay, the gentleman, what's popping?
Everything. Summer's pretty much done.
Yep. You think it's done?
Yeah, my summer's done. Like, it's already July.
Okay. All right.
Like, it literally is
Birthday's
halfway.
coming up.
It is.
Birthday's
it is.
coming up very soon. Good.
Might go to like a, $50, all you can eat brunch at the Ritz or
Yo,
something.
you're wilding right now. Like, I want to restart this. Like, you're drawing right now.
I keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a little something light, on a Sunday,
Can't tell you shit, yo.
Nah, I'm chilling, man. I'm just working, We got a lot of things cooking. We got Water Ice Weekend coming up.
Yes, I'm so excited. Actually, it's our 5th year anniversary of WaterIce.com.
Shout out to
everybody.
Hector over there.
Shout out to Hector, the Hefe. I'm really excited about Water Ice Weekend this year.
We also have the Soul in the City.
Soul in the City,
got to plug that really quick.
Yes, so Soul in the City is the hottest artist showcase of the summer in Philadelphia. We have a great lineup. We have an artist named Mark. He's coming through. Be Easy. Mm-hmm. We have Jadea. She's been on the show before.
Q Banks also.
Q Banks has also been on the show. And our headliner is, the queen of R&B in the city of Philadelphia, Miss Suzanne Christine. Yes, she is coming to blaze the stage at Warehouse on Watts.
July 25th, Thursday. Get your tickets. Link in bios.
The tickets are $10,
Yeah,
y'all.
stop playing.
Like, really, stop playing.
It's
like,
$10.
you can't go anywhere for $10 and get a good show. Warehouse on Watts has the drinks flowing.
Yep.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to have some vendors there, too, as well.
Nice.
You guys got to come out. I'm really excited about it. It's Water Ice Radio's first event.
Whoa.
And I think it's going to be amazing. I think we're going to pack the house out.
I think so, too.
It's going to be good.
I can't wait. I already got my fit.
Really
I'm ready to go.
I think I have my fit.
Yeah.
I think I have my fit.
Okay.
I don't really want to tell everybody, but shout out to a really cool designer pop-up that we went to.
Yeah.
And I think I got my outfit.
Yeah.
I think I'm straight.
Word. All right, I'm with it.
All
but
right.
right now we got a show.
Yes, we do have a show.
We have a really
everybody.
special guest.
Yes.
She's the senior aide to the CEO of La Colombe Coffee. She's the right-hand woman. She's running-ish in the city. I wanted to have her on the show for a long time. This is her first podcast. But I think she's going to do
Ever.
great. Yes, first ever.
I
So
love it.
without further ado, round of applause. We got Heather Qader here.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I cannot complain. Like I said before, I told Lauren, we should reach out to Heather. I think she would be dope for the show.
Yes.
We got some movers and shakers that we've interviewed, so I think she's definitely in that
yeah, that's
that
what we
tier.
do here. We bring on the movers and shakers in the city, and I was like, let's get her.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And she was like, cool, let's do it.
I know that's the easy ones. I like the easy ones. That respond back.
I have
and
no idea what I'm
sure,
doing.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Heather, for coming onto the show. When people hear La Colombe, they're like, oh, is that coffee company that's kind of like Starbucks?
And I'm not even saying this because you're here, but La Colombe is my favorite coffee. Like, I've tried a lot of different.
It's good to hear.
Yeah,
So,
it really is.
I'll say this. I'm not a coffee drinker, but when I went there and I had their coffee, I had an iced coffee. It was amazing. But I'm going to be honest, I'm more of a fan of the food. The food is dope.
Yes, I'll give you that.
More of the food and the ambiance. I was at the one on Fishtown. I guess that's where your headquarters is, correct?
Yeah.
And the ambiance there was great. The feel was good. I loved
vibes.
everything. It was great vibes there.
Free
Fishtown
Wi-Fi,
neighborhood's good.
Yeah.
We also have tea.
Okay.
So you
good to
can,
know.
We have iced tea, we have hot tea, we have green tea.
All right, so cool. When I ask you later, coffee or tea, it's not really like a conflict of interest that you say if you like tea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right, bet.
Perfect. All right, but before La Colombe, let's start and let's talk about you. How did you kind of get your start in the industry?
So it was kind of an accident.
Oh, okay.
So I'm from Virginia.
Nice.
I went to Penn State for undergrad and then went to Temple for
Of course
grad
she
school.
went to Temple.
We the building house everywhere.
I ended up staying. I
Uh-huh.
worked for the city of Philadelphia, and I was focused on tech and startup at the Department of Commerce. And as a part of that role, I got to go to South by Southwest down in Austin, Texas. And Todd Carmichael, who are CEO of La Colombe, he happened to be down there. One of my colleagues from the city was like, "That's him." I had never seen him before, and I walked up and was like, "Hey, to take shots with me and all my colleagues? And
Yeah.
he was like, sure.
Yeah.
And then we probably had like a brief exchange, and that was that. Never saw him again after that. And then Philly Tech Week a month and a half after, never means a month and a half after.
Right.
He had a talk on Briefcase to Billionaire. So like, you know, here I am, an MBA graduate. You know, I think in your business school programs, you're told to fit into a box. And then you have this CEO that's grown this company into a $1 billion company, and he's dropping F-bombs, and he's basically just being real with like, the entire audience. And so I had 2 draft lattes. There's like, you know, that's the equivalent of 4 coffees.
Yeah.
So I was hype, and I was sitting in reserve seats that I probably shouldn't have been sitting in, but no one was sitting in the reserve seat.
Right.
So I was in the front row. And so as soon as he was done, I like hopped up and was like, Todd.
Remember me, shots?
Exactly. So this was, here in Philly Tech Week. And like, I just remember like talking to him and him having Hope and Fury the following month at La Colombe in Fishtown, which was their concert series, or our concert series, actually. And him saying, like, you're going to come. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, you're the Michael Jackson of business for me. And now, like, that was before, like, before Michael Jackson was muted.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how. And so the following week, he asked me to coffee. By the end of the hour, he offered the job.
Wow.
And it was like,
Talk about shooting your shot.
Yeah, really quick transition. Yeah. And so I guess what I would say to my friends is like, never be afraid. Like, everybody bleeds and, you know.
Breathe air and all
breathe
that
air
stuff.
just like you.
So had you done any research on the company or his like story before you actually got to meet him at South by Southwest?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It was just something like, I think
it was just like a connection of people.
Sure.
Like I think, you know, businesses, everything's people. So people get things to move. Like if I didn't know you, I wouldn't be here. You know, like it's all about like, you know, like if you vibe out with someone. So if we're vibing, like why wouldn't you trust me? Because like there are plenty of other people you don't vibe with, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
So what was the question?
I was just saying,
did
you research the company and stuff before you had met him at South? Okay.
It was just the vibe.
I just researched the draft lattes in my mouth.
So the shots that you got for him at South Bend, what was the drink of choice? What was the liquor or the spirit of choice?
It was whiskey. It was 9 shots of whiskey. They were $5 each.
Whoa.
Thank God, because it was Texas.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cheap shots.
Yeah.
Was that your first time at South by Southwest?
That was my first time. Yeah.
How was your experience there? Everyone talks so highly of it.
Yeah, it was good. I think it's really so we have a tight-knit tech community here in Philadelphia.
Yes.
But if you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know who does what unless you're like, you know, diving in and really taking the time to like show up to events. South by Southwest is like wonderful high-level networking. It like is kind of like, you know, you pay $250 to go to a conference. Like you're kind of like, you know, elevating yourself above people who probably wouldn't pay that.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds a little
No, but it's real though.
But it's like now you have like these people who have their businesses that they work for who are investing in them to go to South by Southwest. They must be someone. I think that's like
it's
the
almost like
behind
an investment. You have to invest in yourself to kind of put yourself out there to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like most people are known to go for like to free networking events.
Yeah.
But if you're actually willing to travel to go to a networking event, got to get lodging and all that other stuff like that, you're really putting yourself out there. So all those like minds in the same place. So that makes sense.
And then like if you see someone in Philly and then they're in Austin and then you talk to them and hang out with them in Austin, like automatically like when you get back to Philadelphia, they're elevated in your mind because you guys experience the same thing. You guys know it. Like if I say
relatable.
South by, exactly.
So we're gonna go back to your title, senior aide. What exactly does that entail? Like, what are your day-to-days?
So it'd be like the traditional chief of staff role where there's communication interdepartmentally. So La Colombe is 25 years old, right? It's grown tremendously in the past 4 years because of our consumer packaged goods line. That's the draft latte cans that you guys see.
Love them.
And so in that change, you know, the CEO was once the company, right? And so like you know, Todd Carmichael synonymous with La Colombe for a lot of people, right? And that continues to this day. But you have a marketing team, you have a finance team, you have operations, you have all kinds of teams that are supporting the growth of the company and the products that the company produces. And then you start to get away from like the focus on the CEO, right? And so the CEO needs to be branded as a CEO. He elevates, right? And so I was brought in to kind of, you know, facilitate that elevation of the CEO. We just did his website, toddcarmichael.com.
Shout out to Melissa.
Yep.
Yeah, Melissa. Melissa
also a friend
alum.
to the show.
Yes, friends of the show for sure.
Yep.
There are things like getting stationery. I know, you know, it could seem small, but you know, a letter from the CEO to someone could mean like wonders for retention in a company. You know, sometimes CEOs get overwhelmed with asks. People are constantly asking, and you know, a lot of times CEOs want to say yes to a lot of things. I serve as the person that gives you a straight, definitive answer. Right. So if, you know, if it's like, hey, you know.
But do you pass everything to him to kind of like?
No.
Okay, so you kind of are the buffer in between.
I'm a
he
buffer.
has total trust in you to kind of make those decisions without him have to actually.
Yeah, because my role is to minimize his stress.
Correct.
Okay.
Right?
Let him worry about his brand and whatever, and you keep the machine.
Yeah, because a lot of times
working.
these asks, people want to go straight to the CEO. And before this was, you know, okay because the company was much smaller. It was operating as a startup for 20 years. But we're moving into this more corporate environment where, I mean, there's all kinds of asks and people still think they can go straight to the CEO when it's a marketing ask, or it's, you know, there's a company that's starting and they want to know about distribution, or they want to know about like shipping and how, you know, how we got into it. And they think that like going straight to Todd is like the best way. And I kind of like redirect.
Do you think him having that personality that he has, kind of people are like, oh, you know, he'll answer me, like kind of way.
He totally gives me Gary V vibes. You know the the speaker Gary V, who is always kind of
very straightforward.
He's very straightforward. He definitely gives me that vibe.
Yeah, he's very straightforward, definitely. I would say, because you know Gary V can be.
Yeah, he's throwing F-bombs down.
Yeah, but he's not hurting your feelings.
No,
like, he's very direct. Yeah,
but also knowing what he's talking about. So, do you think that's a reason why people think they can have a direct line of communication to him?
You know, he's just a very approachable guy. I would say that. But I think when you get into like introductions, or you get into like needing time, like, you know, CEOs' times across any company is very limited, like especially if you have a family that you need to focus on. I mean, I would say that he does give off that, you know, very like approachable, but I think like, you know, all these asks, they pile up, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to have people managing those asks, right? And like everything things fall through the cracks when you're busy. So like it's good to have people around you that'll catch it.
For sure.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of like balance being the person behind Todd Carmichael and just being you? Like, I know you're doing a lot of balancing with your job with him, but you also have to spend time with yourself, right?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with myself.
I see you're like a world traveler.
Yeah.
How do you manage that time?
You just, so I'm going to compare it to working at the City of Philadelphia and Department of Commerce, where like networking was like the bread and butter, right? If I wasn't in the room, then I wouldn't know, you know, some of the concerns that constituents had. And like my role was to be seen and involved and kind of just push things along and be a connector and move things for people. And then coming to La Colombe, I think the first, 6 months, it was uncomfortable, right? Because like I'm working in a new corporate environment. I'm in the private sector for the first time.
It's a transition.
Yeah,
and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, am I doing
this right?
Am I doing this job right? And my role wasn't really a defined role. It was kind of just to be,
So there was no one in your position before
no
you?
No one was in my position before me.
Okay.
No. And it, it's kind of cool that he recognized that he needed someone to kind of just like manage these communications and kind of push things along on his behalf and be present on his behalf. What was the question again? So managing Netflix. And Netflix a lot. I like Amazon Prime. I will spend the $4 for
each film or whatever.
Yeah, the film and the $15. I just, the R. Kelly, Surviving R. Kelly, $15.
That should be like free.
I mean, I think I should have just listened to when they said he did stuff to girls and not had spent the $15 because that's all the whole 8 hours of the series.
That's all it was.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I knew this part.
And as we move forward today, we were right where we said we were going to be at some point. He just got picked up by Homeland Security and the feds the other day. No, real talk.
We talked about this.
We all said this is eventually going to happen at some point, and it happened. Yeah, sorry you spent the $15.
And
you didn't have to.
Worst $15 you ever spent.
Right.
I wanted to be close to.
It's cool. It's cool.
Story.
But traveling, where do you like to go when you travel?
Yeah. Where do I like to go when I travel?
Or where's your favorite place that you've been?
Colombia. So
really?
I just came back from Colombia a month and a half ago.
Work or pleasure?
No, not even work. For pleasure. A lot of my coworkers, they travel like everywhere.
Well, Colombia has great coffee too.
Yeah, they do. They do have wonderful. You know where doesn't have good coffee? Aspen, Colorado. I don't know if it's like the altitude that it doesn't brew right.
Yeah.
But every single cup of coffee I had there was like, so I just stuck to matcha latte.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cities. Speaking of just different cities that have good coffee, well, not like Portland. They say Portland's like a really big coffee city. Seattle, the Northwest. Have you been somewhere where you went and they're like, yo, this coffee is bomb?
Oh, yeah.
Like where?
Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington. But there's also a Starbucks on every single corner. It's
really?
It's ridiculous.
It's like McDonald's, but
Is that where their headquarters is?
Yeah.
That's where their headquarters is.
It's in Washington.
I'm not a big, I'm not really a huge coffee drinker, so.
Yeah.
It's are you guys in?
I'm not a mermaid lover, so.
It's overrated.
It is.
So were you big into coffee before La Colombe?
I would drink coffee, yeah. Yeah, I was big into coffee.
Okay. So what parts of the industry didn't you really know about before you came in?
Consumer packaged goods, which is, so consumer packaged goods is that can that you see at the grocery store or the 7-Eleven or in our cafes.
Yeah.
And that's because that is like the tip of the avalanche. That's like the very top of the that's what happens after all the other things, right? And so at the very bottom of that is manufacturing, and that's like factories and plant managers and like cost of goods sold, and like what are we gonna how much money are we gonna make on this? What's our margin? And there's like a lot of finance that goes behind it. Everything.
And even on the design part, what is the can gonna look like? What's gonna be on the logo?
Yeah. I mean, there's like 10 iterations of a product that we're working on right now, the design. And then it's like, what's it gonna taste like? So I sit on the R&D team with the CEO.
That's research and development for those.
And so we taste everything. We put things in our mouth we don't want to put in our mouth.
Like what?
Like what? Like what's gross?
Like different variations of one drink. Right? And a big thing at La Colombe is the texture. Todd really focuses on the texture of the beverages. He wants to get it right.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it, the consistency.
Yeah, it's like a Guinness, but it's coffee.
Right. Interesting.
That was a lot for me. Like when I had mine first one, because it's a both. I'm not a beer and I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I was like, this is pretty good.
Snag me one.
I can take one of these. I was like, this is kind of cool because it kind of still reminded me of like an iced coffee kind of sort of, but it wasn't too harsh on my stomach. Yeah. And it was cool. It was smooth. That's the word I'm looking for.
Lactose free.
Yes, that's exactly why it was. Yeah. It was smooth. It was really smooth. So we're gonna take a quick break.
Sure.
But when we come back, we're gonna talk more about some women empowerment stuff. I see you at a lot of different events, and then just talk about just day-to-day stuff that Heather likes to do. All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here on Water Ice Radio. Got my boy Jada Gentleman here.
Yeah.
I got Heather Qader in the building.
Whoa!
Ooh, I got it right. Y'all see that?
Whoa!
I never get anyone's name right.
Not on the first try.
Not on the first try. We will be right back, you guys. We are back, everyone. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here. Water Ice Radio, the Lauren Reed Live Show, and we are in the building with Heather Qader. She is the senior aide to Todd, Carmichael from La Colombe. Heather is here, and we're talking about her world travels and her experience in the business.
Day-to-days.
Yeah, her day-to-day stuff, which is really cool. So I hate to say this is the year, but we see a lot in like the public. Like, this is the year of the woman. Like, everyone's like standing up.
Enough is enough.
Really? Is that how you feel?
Am I wrong though?
No.
Okay.
So how is it to kind of be like a woman in power? Like, you're like behind like the CEO, and then like you're like kind of like next in line. The stuff comes through you. Like, how does that feel?
How does it feel?
Has to feel good.
It feels there. I think with a lot of responsibility, or with a lot of power, comes a lot of responsibility, right? So,
to whom much is given, much is
required.
required.
And you're representing other people. So there is, there's a stress in that. And I think like what I've learned in the past year there is that with all this privilege that comes with this position, there's also a lot of thinking that happens in your head and opportunities for you to become stressed out. So I've learned to actively like turn off caring, like being able to compartmentalize certain like parts of my life, or certain, and I'm going negative here, but like, a lot of times, people aren't fully understanding of your position or what you do.
Okay.
Sometimes you can't even explain all of it to people because it's one, not their business, and two, confidential. So there's a lot of times where you are, you're wondering, am I getting the respect that I deserve? Or am I being taken seriously? Like, do these people understand my role? You know? And so, yeah, it's great being, right-hand man to the CEO, but there's also a lot of managing of one's mental capacity or mental status.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, because with that, do you feel like some weird pressure because you're a woman of color in this position to kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 Because, I mean, I look around and, not everyone looks like me. I think most people around me don't look like me. So wondering if it, if an instance happens where I feel like I've been disrespected, addressing it right away rather than festering on it. You know that saying where they say what you eat doesn't make me go to the bathroom?
Right.
Shit.
It's okay. We can say it.
You can definitely curse.
We can say it.
So, if something happens where you feel disrespected, there may just be an oversight on the other person's part, not knowing how offensive their comments were to you. And so you addressing it and saying, when you say things like this, it makes me feel ABC, And also, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue, please.
And I think a lot of the confirmation of that disrespect is in how they react to when you tell them. Right. So not taking that first incident, and harping on it, but addressing it right away. I think minutes after it happens, you should be addressing it.
So I just recently went to a women's conference through my full-time job. And one of the questions that came up was about women being kind of what is perceived overly aggressive or overly emotional about things, especially women in leadership positions. So you said that you address it like right away. So is it a way that you kind of respond or address things right away without having to take the emotion and what people may call the aggressiveness out of it, especially a woman of color? Like, I think sometimes when we have to address things, it almost feels as though that we're coming off as attacking
like
someone,
aggressive,
or I mean, and we may not even be coming off aggressive, but it almost like it's a ugly halo over our head that's what's going to be like a snapback
stigma,
a stigma right away. So like, what's your approach when it comes to having to kind of low key put people in their place, but still kind of,
which probably happens a lot because in the position you're in.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few ways. If someone makes a comment towards you that's disrespectful and there's other people witnessing, simply saying no, and turning back and doing whatever you were doing in the first place. And you know, that sets off a trigger of events in that person's own brain. But like just letting them know that you're not going to talk to me like this in front of the people, because if you don't address it right then and there, then everyone around them that's present feels like that, you know, they can do the same thing to you. The other thing is, you know, if you get isolated, right? You know, that's a fact, right? And isolation happens when you're called out specifically, you know, especially when you're called out specifically in a room where no one else looks like you. And it seems to happen for no reason, and you're just like, you know, and so the fact there is that you were isolated, right? And so I think starting with the facts, like having your feelings be, you know, secondary to what are the facts of the situation. Right. And if there's witnesses, you know, having witnesses that
Receipts.
can back up, you know, that fact. If it's isolation, if it is, man, isolation's just big in my head right now. But, yeah, just stating the facts first.
Do you feel like you come across a lot of people who feel that you shouldn't have your position? Like people feel like you're not qualified enough, or maybe like why Heather? Like why is she in this position? Like the people that you may come across when you introduce yourself as your title. And
no, yeah, but also I don't care because like
as you shouldn't. You
know, like my role is to be a confidant, right? And it's to execute and to kind of push things forward on his behalf, on my CEO's behalf. So when anyone else's opinion doesn't really matter, because as long as I am satisfying my role under my CEO, like that's, I think the benefit of being in this role is that I have one person to please. Right. That's it, you know.
Sorry, not sorry.
I understood. You got it.
No.
So, I'm just kind of like big on like kind of like the women in power. I mean, I'm in a business right now where everyone is kind of like, oh, you know, let's tilt each other's, you know, let's fix each other's crowns. Let's kind of like big each other up and be like in the circle of really powerful women. How do you stay connected with all those women that you come across in these different networking events and, you know, different events that are happening across the city to kind of keep those women elevated and empowered to kind of be where they are right now?
Yeah. Coffee is number one. And I think relationships are key, number one. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of times I meet a lot of women all the time, and there's always this like, let's have coffee, and I'm always down for coffee, let's schedule the coffee, but communication sometimes falls off in the text messages, right? You know, but I mean, I'm all for giving my number out and being accessible and available. I have one lady who we've been trying to get together for like months now, but we're still trying, you know.
That's cool.
But inviting each other to things and going and I think in the last 6 months, I've kind of like died down on my socializing just because I've been tired. You know, I think it takes a lot of mental capacity to be here in this role. But like a lot of my girlfriends, I just, you know, if I think one girl is great, I introduce her to another one. Like it's kind of like a vetting process where it's like, okay, you're cool. Now you can hang out with like, like I'm bringing you into the fold, and then they talk about opportunities. So it's not necessarily coming like any opportunities coming like directly through me. Gotcha. But it's always like your secondary like line of connection to a person that will end up like doing something good.
I like that. That's cool.
And that's kind of like how we met, was through those kind of circles and just mutual friends. And I've always seen you around, and I've always, you know, with Melissa Alam, we've always, your name would come up in conversations, whatever. And I was like, well, I haven't seen you in person. So it was like, where is she? So I kind of like had to like maneuver certain things to be like, yo, I want to have someone from La Colombe on here. She seems dope. Let's get it. And that's kind of how it just works. Cool. You just make it work. Yeah.
You know, Pyle.
Yeah.
Pyle was asking me yesterday. She was like, I have a friend. I want to get him on the stage. You know, we were at All Love Fest, and she's like, how do you think I do it? I'm like, you meet the organizers, you ask them to coffee. Because, you know, you can't, and so this is going off on another tangent, but it's all based in relationships, right? And so like that like halfway decent rapper that ended up on stage, you don't know why he's there, knows somebody, and that's how he got on stage. He wasn't dope,
but he finagled his way
and
onto
I'm
it.
not saying specifically.
We're not mad at that,
right? But yeah, it's all relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's who you maintain connection with.
I probably know who she's talking about. Her friend.
Yeah.
I bet I know who it is, but that's like.
Sorry, Pyle. Put you out there.
No, so like I mean, let's kind of like circle back to like the business part of La Colombe and kind of like the toughest things that you guys got to overcome, because coffee, especially now, is such a big business and there's a lot of competition with local and to the Starbucks of the world. How do you maintain that brand to where people are still going to go to it, and how do you kind of finesse your way through all of these new up and comers and whatnot?
No one's occupying the space that La Colombe's occupying. You have the Starbucks clientele that they are used to a certain grade of coffee. Right? Yep. It's never going to really elevate up to the La Colombe standard. So we're occupying a premium space that's like way, way, way undersaturated. And we've become some kind of a cult brand, right? Where like our marketing is dope. The things that we do is dope. I want to say that we're basically a marketing boutique firm, right? A boutique marketing firm, because we focus so heavily on the way that the product looks and sticking to, kind of like the roots of La Colombe. I don't know if you guys see the Dove everywhere, but like people are wearing T-shirts and hats, and I have socks and like bags and like.
But also the events you guys hold. Starbucks is not holding like open mic night. You know what I mean? The Chill Moody's and stuff like that, and having those type of events is very relatable. I guess the word I want to use. Like people feel invited to come in and hang out and like chill, like and feel good being there. Yeah. So is there like a story behind how you guys started to do those type of things, like holding events and things at your headquarters?
So I was not there when they started doing Hope and Fury.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
what I'm talking about.
I started in July. The first Hope and Fury was in June.
Okay.
Last year, 2018. And so I think the story is, from what I hear, is that Todd went to South by Southwest and he enjoyed, the panel talks and the music and kind of like the bringing together of a community. And he wanted it to grow into something in Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia needs a South by Southwest. Right. So I think the goal was to start with Hope and Fury and kind of just like, wedge our way into that space and hopefully grow it to something bigger in the future. Where it's like, maybe a block party or a festival or something really cool that is centered on the community and the issues in the community.
I want to go back to like how you said like that boutique like kind of niche marketing. I feel like that's one of those, I don't want to say wave because I feel like people throw it away, but it is one of those things where it's, if you do it right, it could definitely be beneficial. And one brand that I like to follow, because someone put me onto it, was Topo Chico. They do the mineral water.
Really good bubbles.
Yeah, it's great. And like, but it's like they created a whole cult following because they have really cool shirts and they'll do events like that. Like, do you think that's gonna be something that eventually these bigger corporations are gonna try to like catch the wave and it's gonna be too?
Well, they can't though, because they're so big, right? And you have all these checks and balances in a larger organization, the bureaucracy. I mean, Comcast, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm pulling you into this.
You're
but
good.
I don't think Comcast could do a La Colombe. They would have the resources.
You are in the building, though. But.
Yeah, we are in the building.
We are in the building.
Yes, we wedged out.
Yeah.
Starbucks was there a few years back. And now La Colombe's there.
Wow.
What I'm saying is, from a marketing standpoint, is that there'd be so many checks and balances, and that edge would get lost, right?
Absolutely.
And I think La Colombe still has the edge to them. We still have a CEO that's like widely outspoken in politics, and I think that as long as we stick to our roots and still stay a reflection of our roots, that people will continue to catch on.
Do you feel is there any pressure to kind of you guys are really big, so I don't even want to say expand, but do you feel like there's any pressure to kind of be like the Starbucks and stuff like that, where you do have to go through all those checks and balances, or do you guys like, no, we're good?
So, yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's definitely pressure. Are you talking about pressure from like, we want cafes in our city, or
and pressure from the expanding to the point where, like you were just saying, like with a Comcast, there's so many checks and balances that you have to go through. So probably at the end of the tunnel, they're like, nah, that probably wouldn't work for this corporation. Yeah. So I mean, like pressure to get that big and expand to that.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, I don't think there's a pressure to get that big. I think there's pressure to maintain our growth because we are growing really fast.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll ever be a Comcast or a Starbucks, right? And that's okay because we want to give you quality premium experiences, right? And it's not ever going to be watered down. Like, you know, we want to stay close to our core, and that is the coffee, right? And the focus is the coffee, and you know, we're not expanding, you know, into India or, you know, and I think whenever you have, you know, a massive cafe operation, then you have to have a massive headquarters operation. You have to have a massive, you know, you have marketing operations, and that marketing. So right now we're in 6 cities: LA, Chicago, DC, Philadelphia, Boston. Did I say 6?
Yeah. No, you said 5.
I said 5. Sorry. Philly, New York, LA, DC, Boston, Chicago. That's 6. And we can cater our marketing to those markets.
Okay.
Right? And you get too big, and you lose, you know, the soul of the company. Yeah. So.
Cool.
So no. In short, no.
No. All right, so I'm going to kind of go left here, but it's something that we love to talk about here. We always love to talk about relationships, dating, all the other good stuff. She's like, shit, why did I come here? All right.
Oh yeah, we do that too.
We do. We talk about that stuff as she sips her drink, right?
Well, I mean, because you know, I'm sure with the position you're in, you're busy. You do you have a lot of engagements you got to do, and just with the work itself, like, what is it like dating right now as a person in your position?
I can't go on Tinder, and I can't go on Bumble.
All right, I was about to say, well, with Tinder, why would you want to?
No. But, you know, like, you can't go on the internet dating sites because people know you, and then you'll be screenshotted and sent around in the back channels. I think that's a fear, right? And it does happen. It's a fact. What do I do about dating?
Like how? Like.
I date myself.
Self-love.
Yes, self-love. I give myself a lot of self-love.
Well, that's good. So, I mean, do you get approached by a lot of different people to try to, like, you know, to see if they can shoot their shot type of thing? Really?
No, I think surprisingly, no.
Think it's an intimidation thing?
No, I don't know if it's intimidation. I think it's like a vibrations thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I get you know, ghosts from something's past. What's that? I don't know.
Girlfriends? Ghosts from boyfriend's past?
Ghosts from boyfriend's past. I don't have a lot of exes hitting me up either.
A lot of hey big heads.
People hit me up on LinkedIn. Be like, hey, just seeing how you're doing.
I hear that.
Really?
Yeah,
it's like
LinkedIn's like the new, like,
the way to slide into the DM,
more
the
professional
with it.
Oh yeah, but I try to stay out of, you know, friend circles that are close. Maybe out of town. I think I try to stay out of town. I actually am out of town right now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
She's writing notes. Like.
I have a secret bay out of town.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about them. Nope. You get
some people know about him,
but like not like it's not.
It's your people.
It's on the people. It's not like on the gram. He's not your man crush Monday.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You won't find him.
Right. See, he's off the radar. You get to go visit. You get to come back. Actually, sounds like the way to go.
Stealth, man. You gotta go stealth mode.
That's good. I appreciate that.
But let's be real.
Okay.
That's not gonna be you. That's not gonna be you. My king is here. Like let's go. Like,
you're trying to play me. Anybody, it is nobody on the scene. But I just feel like the more you get into a place of position of power, and more in the, I guess people want to call the limelight per se, it gets more difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to be real careful of who you try to bring in the fold.
I remember when you had that one picture. It was your homie. It wasn't even like, your phone blew up. You're like, who's that? Who that? And you're like, yo.
Like literally, like, I think it was last year for my birthday, and like I know someone who curates events in the city, and he hooked me up with like a table somewhere for my birthday, and we took a picture together, and literally everybody was like, this is Bae. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, he's a friend. And it's like they immediately want to jump on the bandwagon that everyone that you post when you're single has to be Bae. And I'm like, nah, that's not. I'm actually, I think people think that I would be the one to probably post Bae. I'm actually going to be the one not to.
Interesting.
Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I think it's so oversaturated. Like,
I think you just have to post more dudes. Don't leave it at one.
So I hang out with I hang out with tons of dudes. I hang out with these guys, and then, you know, my one of my really close friends, Jordan, it was so funny. Like, we had the Any Given Saturday, the brunch, and he brought his girlfriend, and like some of my friends was like, Jordan has a girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, but you guys are hanging out all the time. And I was like, that doesn't mean that we have to be in some type of, you know, intimate relationship. Like, I can be friends with guys, right? And I just feel like it's just automatic. They have to attach you to someone, and I'm like, it's too much pressure.
Yeah,
like,
chill out.
Just chill out, because I posted someone on Instagram. Like, let's all calm down now. Like, so I think that's what people think, but I'm getting a little bit more chill with that.
Yeah,
I know you won't be posting anybody.
Oh no, I'm stealth mode all day. I've been on Team Cloak for a while.
Not
I just feel like when it comes to certain stuff like that, I'm kind of very to myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my personality is enough for people, let alone trying to, you know, whatever.
I didn't feel like this way before, but I think there is something in the mystery of it all for me.
The anonymity is great.
Before, I wasn't that girl. Like, I was your annoying man crush Monday girl.
Oh, me
like,
too.
I was that girl, and they all ended up being clowns. I mean, I'm just going to be, and it always ends up having to be a story about why, like, where is such and such.
So y'all both said that y'all were that person. When was that moment when you were like, I'm gonna stop being that person?
I think the feeling that I didn't have to explain anything to anyone anymore. I think growing up, you're like, well, I mean, I'm excited. What
happened was,
and also, like, everyone feels like they're entitled to opinion about your life,
absolutely,
right? And so, like, if you don't update someone that you broke up with someone, you know, they're gonna assume that you're still with someone, and then, like, when you're with the next guy, they're gonna be like, what happened? There's a bunch of assumptions that happen with information. So you give someone 5 cents, you know, they're gonna come up with a whole dollar's worth of more opinions, of cents to put in, you know.
So for me, honestly, this platform became that time when I felt like I don't need to be that girl anymore, because I wanted to be known for who I am and not by who the person that I'm posting every other week. And not that I'm on any, like, I don't got like 10,000 followers. It's nothing like that, right? But people are mean, right? And as soon as you're posting someone, it's someone in your DMs talking about, oh, girl, he used to talk to such and such, and you know, he used to date whatever. Yep. And then it becomes, that's not your identity anymore. You know what I mean? And I mean, selfish, sorry, not sorry, but Lauren Reed Live is my brand, and I can't be subjected to the foolishness that comes up.
Tomfoolery out here.
Yeah, so like, if I happen to associate myself with a clown and he ends up being it and I gotta get rid of him, let me do that in private. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be associated with anything else. And I just think, honestly, age, and I hate when we talk about like getting older or whatever, but age and maturity comes along with knowing your limits and stuff, that you just have to stop doing certain stuff. I mean, I learned from Jay, like, everybody don't need to know everything. Everybody don't need to know your next step and your next move, right? And I really didn't get that at first. I was just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna open the book, right? And I still am, right? But it's just certain things that I want to keep private. And I think that in this journey in my life right now, relationship is something that I've decided to keep private. Yeah. It's just something about it. I know it's a new me. You'll read about it in the book.
Word.
For sure. Whenever it
If
decides.
ever.
It will come. Stop, Linnea. Linnea's in the background like, but when? And I'm like, I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Everything doesn't happen overnight. But we will be right back. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to play our game when we come back.
The Wheel of Death.
It's not the Wheel of Death. Wait, her face. She was like, no.
You will die.
It's not the Wheel of Death, people, but yes.
Until you come up with another name, that's what it's called.
All right, y'all. We'll be back with the Wheel of Death. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here on Water Ice Radio. We'll be right back. And we are back, everyone. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here, Water Ice Radio. And it has been a good show so far. It's about to get better.
Whoa.
Birdman, hand rub.
Bring them doves out. See what I did there?
Yes. We got Heather Qader in the building. She is the senior aide to Todd Carmichael from La Colombe.
Give us the insides on the business and how she got to where she's at. How you feeling? You good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Right,
well, you're not about to be bad.
Oh my God!
It's time for the Wheel of Death.
Are you good?
That's what we're calling it until you call it
All right,
something else.
so you guys already know what it is. This is the Wheel of Death game. We're going to spin this wheel and see if we can find out a little bit more about Heather.
Yeah.
Maybe about us too.
Yeah.
All right, so Heather, you get to go first.
Nice and easy.
Spin the wheel.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Big bucks.
Oh, yeah, I had to stop it. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Tread lightly.
Water ice, because I am lactose intolerant.
All right, so
Boom.
the question was water ice or ice cream, and I definitely would say
Favorite flavor?
I like mango and
I
cherry.
like mango. Yeah, mango.
So when you go to get, is Philly the first place that you've experienced water ice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you like a Rita's person, or do you
I like, so there's this place in South Philly. I don't know.
John's?
It's on the east side of Broad Street. And it's like 8th and Christian or something, or like down that way.
Okay.
That's like my favorite place.
So you like more like hole in the wall water ice places?
Yeah,
okay.
that's cool. But I mean, Rita's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do some Rita's.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
I did like Sadiq's.
Sadiq's is good.
Yeah.
Where's Sadiq's?
West Philly.
West Philly?
I think.
So I'm an uptown girl, so I am Transillies all day. Very, very, very good. But they're about to open a John's water ice. I think it's known in West Southwest, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But they're opening up another one in Uptown, and it's like rivalry.
Whoa.
But yeah, I'm actually not a Rita's fan at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I just got to do like I got to do the whole. Actually, some of the best poppy stores.
Oh, true.
Have
yeah.
really good water ice,
joints,
and they're only like $1.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's dope.
Those
So
songs.
I'm all water ice too,
Cool.
all day long. All right, you next or me?
That's you.
All right.
Big bucks. Big bucks.
No. What's that?
Oh, that's an old one.
Oh, it's like Golden State, or this is the old one.
Yeah.
Golden State of the Raptors. Well, now.
Well, we could talk about it real quick.
We could talk about it, right?
NBA free agency has been crazy.
It's been nuts.
Yeah.
This
It's wide open.
offseason
I don't know
has
who's
been
gonna win.
crazy. I'm still, again, I'll say what I've always said, that I am a Curry fan. Like, I just like Stephen. I like his wife. I like the whole family thing. So with this, I'm going to still say Golden State. But shout out to Kawhi, who shook the whole league up.
I called it. He'll test. I called it. I knew he was
And
going
leaving the Raptors after winning the series.
He got the little chip. He's like, all right.
And left and went to the Clippers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crazy season.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I can't wait.
I know people are going to kill me for saying this, but we could skip football. I'm good. Let's go right back into basketball because it's about to be so crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. I just want to see like all the matchups.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
then who just got what's the name just went to Houston?
Yeah, Westbrook.
Westbrook just went to Houston. It's going to be like crazy.
It's going to be a big soap opera.
It's
I'm having my popcorn ready.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'll spin for Jay.
I wanted to ask Lauren.
He always wants to ask Lauren anything.
Sneakers or shoes? Ooh.
That's a good one for you.
This is a good one.
What's your style like?
I do like a nice pair of shoes. Like, I love sneakers.
Really?
Yeah. I do like sneakers. I'm not like a big sneakerhead. Like, I'm not gonna have like a whole shoe box, one to rock, one to drop, or whatever. But I like shoes. I've always been more of just kind of like the dapper side of things.
Okay.
And kind of mixing some streetwear with that kind of dapper look.
So on a date, what are you doing?
I'm trying to put people on, but Cole Haan, you know, they have some nice shoes, man.
Yeah.
They're comfortable as hell, so it's a little bit more casual, on the less dressy, more casual, but they still look dope.
How do you feel about like loafers, like a nice little like a boat shoe?
Boat shoes I'm not really feeling.
Okay.
I feel like there's a certain mentality that goes behind with people that wear boat shoes. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
But like loafers, like, you know what I mean? Like,
R. Kelly seems like he wears a lot of boat shoes.
Yo!
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm good with the boat shoes. Like Sperry's, I'm good.
Okay.
It's not really, but I like some boat shoes.
Sperry's.
They had a good run for a little while. They tried to come back.
They had a run. It was.
Oh, I'm thinking like the little banana, the snakeskin banana shoes, like the long toes.
Oh,
Like,
nah.
the suit shoes.
Those
That's
are more
what I was
like
thinking,
like,
boat
those
shoes
are
because
more
they
like
look like
gators.
boats.
Those are like
Gators.
those are pimp
Yeah.
shoes. Those are definitely
Yeah.
pimp
No,
shoes.
boat shoes are the
That's
ones
what I
with
meant.
Sperry's.
Like in purple gator,
The lime
lime
green.
With
green.
the pinky ring.
Yeah, that's total pimp. That's
Right. That's a play.
pimp all day, player ball.
Yeah.
That's Jerome. That's Jerome in the house.
That's Jerome in the house. Watch your mouth.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
exactly.
Who's that?
From Martin.
Oh.
I was like, bro, you about to leave.
Sorry, I forgot.
We just 2 shows in a row. We almost
Yeah.
had to kick somebody out.
Yeah. I would pick shoes for sure.
Shoes for sure.
Even though I do like sneakers, like, I mean,
All right, cool.
yeah.
All right, Heather, it's your turn. Let's see if it'll stop on its own.
Oh.
Almost. Nah.
Nah, let's go to brunch or club.
I like that
Oh,
one.
brunch or clubbing?
Let's do the next. Yeah, brunch or clubbing.
Brunch.
Ooh, where's your favorite brunch spot?
Ooh. I like Park.
Really?
Yeah, and I like A Kitchen.
Okay.
Oh, you
Yeah,
should-
A
Okay.
Kitchen's nice. Because I like the quiche at Park, and then A Kitchen, I like sitting on the block and watching
Nice.
people walk
People
by.
You're a
watch.
people watcher? Okay.
Yeah, and mimosas anywhere is. I come from the DC brunch culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where, like, we brunch, you know. and
That's
then
all
you come here and
that's all y'all do.
people don't brunch here. Hit people up, they're like, I'm doing something. It's really hard to get people out to brunch in Philly.
I
I
could do a
keep
brunch
tell
anytime of the
people
day.
all the time. I went to college in DC, and brunching is just day partying and brunching is just like everything on the weekend
Yeah.
to us in DC. Like that's prime networking time. It's not.
And that's why
It's not
big
late
there.
night. It's not like late night. Barcode is
Yeah.
my favorite place.
Barcode.
Yes,
Nice.
to go to doing brunch. I mean, it's like a party. It's a party. It's like
Yeah,
it's a
day
turn up.
party.
It's a turn up day party.
Man,
Every
those
time
were the days.
I've experienced one not too long ago actually, and I was like, I'm too old for this shit because it's
DC?
it's
Yeah.
like it's a turn up. It's like it's a straight turn up, but it's still fun. But I wish Philly would get their culture. I really wish we would get the day party brunch culture back.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
poppin'.
there's like blips on the radar that happens here. in the
Every
city.
now and then
Yeah.
they're trying to bring it a little bit, but it's nothing like DC.
No, at all. Yeah.
Fair
Shout
enough.
out to DC.
Why don't you just move there then? I'm just kidding.
I can't afford it.
Right, me either. I mean,
All right.
That's hilarious.
I can't ask myself anything, so you take this as your spin.
Okay, ask Lauren anything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You've been winning one of these.
Oh my God. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Please, are you serious right now?
Yes, I am.
5 years, I will
Talk
be.
your shit.
I will right now. I'm about to do it. In 5 years, I will be a best-selling author.
Okay.
I will have taken the Lauren Ree brand to another level.
Okay.
I've already have a name and everything planned out for it, but it will be a movement. We will be doing seminars and events and just doing a whole bunch of different
Why
stuff.
didn't you want me to ask you that? That's a great question, and that was a great answer.
I mean, no.
As long as I can get the foreword in your book, I mean, I'm good.
I know.
Let me do that.
You will. This podcast will be syndicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, listen, just blessings on blessings on blessings. I just think 40 will be a great year for me.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
So that
So
was my
this-
question.
that was your question?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you. Oh wait. You should ask Lauren anything.
Oh yeah, you get to ask me anything. Yes. Sorry, we usually do that.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school in DC?
Went to Howard University.
Howard, okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
did Linnea. Some of the best times of my life. HU, you know. We don't get to do that around here often.
No, they don't. Correct. Watch yourself.
TU
All day.
All day.
Motherfucker. We're a little bit more, ratchet, but whatever.
Yes, I went to Howard, the Mecca. Yeah, good times.
Cool.
Really good times.
That's cool.
All right, so now I get to go.
Yeah.
All right. No, you already know I want a brunch, so y'all can tell that by the day. So
Yeah.
No, what is going on here? All right, just pick one. Someone pick one off of this wheel. Heather, pick one.
Yeah, Heather, you pick anything for her.
Off-White or Fear of God?
Oh,
What-
neither.
Okay, hold on. 90s R&B or thousands hip hop?
Oh, this is easy for me. 90s R&B for sure. I am a R&B fanatic.
Yeah.
I'm always posting stuff like, if he don't know this song, he
No.
ain't it. No, 90s R&B was like everything for me. I'm an 80s baby, so like when I really started to get into music, it was the 90s. So like Boyz II Men, like I was obsessed with Boyz II Men.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, Troop. Nobody really knows about Troop or High Five. I'm like old school R&B, and I actually am old school R&B too. Shout out to my mom for always playing like a lot of old school records in the house. So like songs that people will be like, how do you know this? Like I'm a huge Anita Baker fan.
Yeah, Anita Baker's
Like,
everything. Yeah.
Sweet Love. Yesterday I was somewhere in a store and Sade came on.
Say no more.
Sweetest
That's my girl.
Taboo came on, and they were
That's
looking
my
at
favorite
me.
song.
Really?
Favorite song of all time.
Oh my God.
Sweetest Taboo.
And someone was looking at me like, I was
tell
like,
you?
yes.
Tell you now.
Shout out to Sade being the first Black mermaid in a video.
She really, yeah. Yeah, she paved the way.
But yeah, so like I love old school like R&B. Like that's
What
my
about
shot
you?
right there.
Old school R&B.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
If we were to go on your Spotify right now, what would we see in it?
You would see. You want to go on right now?
What's the last
I
thing
have
you listened
Amazon
to?
Music.
Yeah, like what's the last thing you listened to?
What's the last thing I listened to?
I hope it's something whack.
I was hoping that it was. I hope it was like a City Girl song.
What's the last thing I was listening to? Everybody Mad. OT Genesis.
Oh, I've been getting to this money. Everybody, man.
Pulling up to work.
Right, I see you got some Kehlani right there too. Good stuff.
I had
What else you got?
Beyonce on this morning.
Okay.
And then, you
Ooh,
know,
8701. How do I say is a great song.
Ooh, that used to be the joint I used to say to the girls.
Pay Me by Miguel.
Miguel's that dude.
I like that. Janelle Monáe. Bitch Better Have My Money, Rihanna.
Lemon,
you
you
see a
got
theme
Lemon in
here?
Yeah.
Is
There's
it,
a theme.
do you have like a routine? Like I have a morning. I do have like a morning routine getting ready for work, especially when it comes to music. Like on my way in, do you have like a routine for music?
Yeah, I have one of those Sonos speakers.
Uh-huh.
And
Those are
so
amazing.
you just turn it on by your phone, and
Mhm.
then you eventually get out of bed after snoozing 6 times. I'm not an early riser.
Okay.
I think they have so many books focused on like rising early. They should
You either can or
they should
you
have
can't.
a book focused on sleeping late.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, routine. Wipe the boogers out my eye. Brush my teeth. Put my contacts in.
Any music that gets you ready to go for work?
No, I think I like Andra Day.
Okay.
Rise Up.
Yeah.
That's a good
I love
way
her.
to start your
She's
morning.
great.
Yeah.
So recently, before we go, there is kind of like a buzz in the music industry right now about some comments that were made from a music mogul, Jermaine Dupri. Just having a kind of sort of an argument with my brother today in the car about this. But he said that they asked him on an interview who was some of his favorite female rappers right now, because there are a lot in it, out right now. Meg Thee Stallion is like heating up the airwaves, hot girl summer thing, city girls kind of thing. And he said, nah, I don't have any, because all female rappers right now are like strippers.
That ain't what he said.
That is what he said.
No, what he said was.
What did he say?
What he said was.
That's what he said.
He said, I don't have a favorite female rapper because I don't feel like anybody's trying to be the best. And it sounds like they're strippers trying to rap. That's what he said.
He called them strippers.
No, that's not what he said. I'm just saying. I'm just fact checking because I saw that. I was like, that's not what he said.
He called them strippers.
He said they sound like strippers trying to rap. That's what he said. So anyways, you may continue. We can fact check if you want.
I don't care. That man called these women strippers.
Okay, anyway.
And I guess y'all can already see where I'm going with what my opinion is. But what I'm saying is that the conversation I was having earlier today is a lot of men are siding with him and a lot of women are like, that was kind of disrespectful what you said, basically. So Cardi went on her rant. Well, I don't really feel she went on a rant. I think what she said was true, and I never really agree with Cardi basically. I want to put that out there. She basically said that a lot of the social media, the blogs, you know, the audience is not really bigging up the Tierra Wax, shout out to Philly, or the Rhapsodies. They're more so giving the spotlight to artists like herself or the Meg Thee Stallions or the City Girls, because what they're kind of like putting out there is what really sells. Like, she made a point. She said, exactly. She said, when I did the song Be Careful, when she kind of like had an ode to like her relationship, the problems that she was having, nobody liked that song. But when she was talking about her kitty cat, everybody was that was what popping. So she was like, most people goes with what sells. So it's not really like these women's fault that this is what their content is. And I kind of like for once agree with her. Like, my point this morning to my brother was like, if they're not talking about, you know, popping on a handstand, then nobody's really paying attention to them. No, seriously. No, yeah. And I was just like, yo, like, I felt like I kind of almost felt like it was always like that. Like, you know, yeah, Missy was different because Missy was innovative in a way ahead of her time.
See, when it first started, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't.
Like the MC Lights, they weren't, you know what I mean? Like, there were examples early on where it wasn't like that.
Right.
And obviously there's a shift.
There is. It's a huge shift right now. Right now, sex is really, 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 really big, and the twerk and this and that and stuff like that.
But back then, Foxy Brown and
right.
Lil' Kim,
they were
all
the shift
very
I was talking
raunchy. About. Like in the '90s, that shift. That's when like the Lil' Kim. Yeah.
So my question is really like Kim. That was whatever my conversation today. Foxy, they were talking about taking men's money and buying bags
I was just
and
listening
stuff.
To No Time the other day.
And, you know what I'm trying to say? Kim was talking some crazy stuff on her first album, right? So for me, no one said that about Kim. Why is that anything different than Meg? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
well, I
just think kind of I definitely think his delivery was kind of wrong. So I just don't understand, like, why is it I don't know. I guess what I'm just trying to say is, like, no one was talking, like I'm saying, no one was saying that type of stuff about Foxy, Kim, Nicki for that. Nicki has been talking about stuff like that, and now all of a sudden, all these girls are rapping like strippers. I mean, I don't know. I just think it was kind of harsh. I think it was real harsh. No?
Was Meg Thee Stallion a stripper before?
No, she wasn't a stripper.
But
Cardi was a stripper.
So maybe that was a shot at her specifically. I don't know. No clue.
I don't want to touch on Cardi because the Barty fans be like real OD about Cardi.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a Nicki Minaj fan?
So I'm not I'm a Nicki Monster fan. Let me be clear about that. It's a type of Nicki fan that I am a fan of. I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj on other people's songs. When she does features, she's good. Yeah. When I'm not a Cardi fan as far as her music is concerned. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I just don't understand why the narrative of the women rappers right now have to be that they're strippers. That's my point. Like, why does it have to be that way? When we have the Tierra Wax and we have the Rhapsodies and stuff like that. Like, what will it take for them to get that more push in their platform?
Could we disregard the one man's opinion that is probably stupid?
I'm down with it.
So your opinion's stupid. Next.
I mean, I think that's basically, if anyone saw Tierra Wax freestyle the other day on Instagram, I pretty much think she put that in place, that's not what we about, that life. You don't have a comment on this?
I'm not Jermaine Dupri.
But I'm sure you feel some type of way about it.
I agree with the first half of it as far as I don't feel like, I think he's right. I think people aren't trying to be the best. I think they're just trying to they're trying to make money. I get it.
Okay.
As far as like him generalizing, I don't agree with. But I do feel like there is that, it sucks because the only thing that does sell is sex. But to say that nobody was talking about like Kim and them, they were. It was just that with social media, it's more amplified because there's more voices.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
I'll have to dead that. But it sucks because the rappers like Rhapsody, like Tara that we've mentioned before, they are dope. But I still feel like him generalizing is just that kind of fucked everything up. But there's always been dope female MCs. It's just that they weren't willing to do the little Kims.
But do you think they have to have sex behind them? I know we got to wrap it up, but
for what though?
For them to sell those records.
Proof's in the pudding. It sucks. That's where we're at. You know?
I think.
But like, if you were to ask me, like, oh, who do you like as a female rapper? I'm like, well, like I've never really been on those bandwagons, like the Megans and all that.
I got
they
you.
They can spit.
Right.
But I don't want to hear about your kitty cat all the time. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I want to hear some substance once in a while.
Got you. I feel you. It's entertaining. Yeah. For the most part. All right, cool. So when we come back, we are going to wrap this thing up. The Wheel of Death wasn't that bad, right?
We survived.
Hey.
We really got to come up with a better name.
I mean, I think that's going to stick. So.
All right, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here with Ice Radio. We will be right back with the Lauren Reed Live wrap-up.
We're back. Lauren Reed Live on Water Ice Radio. Jay the Gentleman, Lauren Reed. We got a special guest, Heather Qader. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to wrap it up. And just the part where we kind of, let you do your thing. Any plugs that you want to let us know what La Colombe's got coming up?
Yeah.
You got coming up? Anything like that?
Yeah. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, we have Hope and Fury, our series. It's a concert series coming back. It's focused on social conversations like mass incarceration and voting rights and, gender equality. And there's usually free beer there and music, and that's coming up September. We're beginning again, and
nice.
Awesome.
Hope
that
to
sounds
see you guys
exciting.
there.
Yes.
So keep a lookout on our social media at lacolombcoffee.com. Or sorry, at La Colombe Coffee. That's it.
At La Colombe. And do you want to tell people where you're at on social media?
I'm Heather Qader. My last name is Qader, so it's Heather rhymes with feather. Qader. Yeah.
Dope. So again, thank you for coming through. We really appreciate it. You have a really busy schedule. So we love again to have our movers and shakers here. So we can't wait to see what you got coming up. We always tell all of our guests the first time you hear you're a guest, but now you are officially Water Ice Radio family.
Yes.
Yay.
So please stop by and anytime you have like any special announcements or anything big that La Colombe has going on, we want to be a part of that as well. All right, Jay, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
All right, so everyone, stay tuned to the Lauren Reed Live show right here on Water Ice Radio. Shout out to the whole Water Ice Radio family, the Uncensored podcast. Make sure you guys are tuned in to them as well. WaterIce.com, your scoop to everything Philly. Make sure you guys are checking us out every single day. We got all the scoop in Philly. Check us out on the newsstands too in Center City. Just a lot more to come.
Yes. Water Ice Weekend, August 8th through the 11th. We're working on that. Finalizing all the events. We have our Soul in the City.
Yep. July 25th.
Thursday. Make sure you get your tickets.
Yep.
Link in bios.
Yep.
But that's it.
That's it. Follow us on social medias too, guys. All right. And as you always know, not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear headphones. Peace.